What if a drug designed to relieve pain in your dog or cat could also trigger serious neurological reactions? Over the past few years, two breakthrough veterinary medicines, Librela for dogs and Solensia for cats, have been promoted as revolutionary treatments for arthritis. But behind the excitement, thousands of adverse event reports, regulatory warnings, and growing concern among veterinarians have sparked a serious debate. So what's really happening with these drugs? And what does it mean for pet owners in the UK? Let's break it down. The promise of a breakthrough. For decades, treating osteoarthritis in pets relied mainly on traditional anti-inflammatory drugs. Then came a new class of medicine, monoclonal antibodies designed to block pain signals rather than simply reduce inflammation. The global veterinary pharmaceutical giant Zoetis launched two flagship drugs, Librela for dogs with osteoarthritis, Solensia for cats with osteoarthritis. Both treatments target a molecule called nerve growth factor, often abbreviated as NGF. NGF plays a key role in how the body processes pain signals. By blocking it, these injections aim to dramatically reduce chronic pain in pets. Unlike many older drugs, they are typically given once per month by injection at a veterinary clinic, which initially made them extremely appealing. Veterinarians across Europe, including the UK, rapidly adopted them. Approval and use in the UK. In the United Kingdom and across Europe, both medicines were authorized by the European Medicines Agency. Safety monitoring in the UK is overseen by the Veterinary Medicines Directorate, often called the VMD, because these drugs are relatively new biologic therapies. Regulators rely heavily on post-marketing surveillance, meaning safety is continuously evaluated after approval, and that's where the controversy begins. Rising reports of adverse events following widespread use. Veterinary regulators began receiving reports of adverse reactions. Data from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration indicated that by early 2025 there had been over 12,000 adverse event reports linked to Librela. These reports included cases involving severe mobility problems, neurological symptoms, worsening weakness, seizures, death, loss of coordination, ataxia. Some cases reportedly involve death or euthanasia following rapid health decline. It's important to understand that adverse reports do not automatically prove causation. However, when thousands accumulate, regulators take notice. Why NGF blockade raises questions. The concern centers around the biological pathway targeted by these drugs. Because they inhibit nerve growth factor, they directly affect nerve signaling. NGF isn't only involved in pain. It also plays roles in nerve health, nerve repair, neurological signaling. Some scientists have suggested that blocking NGF too strongly might potentially influence neurological function in rare cases. This is one reason regulators began reviewing the safety data more closely. Regulatory responses. Regulators around the world have started responding cautiously. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration required updated safety information and increased monitoring. Meanwhile, the European Medicines Agency launched a detailed pharmacovigilance review. In the UK, veterinarians are encouraged to report suspected side effects through the Veterinary Medicines Directorate surveillance system. This process is normal for new biologic medicines, but the scale of reports has raised eyebrows. Solensia, less controversy but growing caution. While most public attention has focused on Librela, its feline counterpart Solensia has also drawn scrutiny. Adverse reports appear to be fewer, but some veterinarians are prescribing it more cautiously. Because cats metabolize drugs differently from dogs, clinicians need to monitor patients carefully after injections. As a result, growth projections for veterinary biologics have cooled slightly compared to early expectations. The financial impact. The situation has also had ripple effects beyond veterinary clinics. Investors closely watch companies like Zoetis, whose valuation partly depends on breakthrough products like these. Concerns about regulatory reviews, safety perception, slower prescribing growth have contributed to revised growth forecasts in the veterinary pharmaceutical sector. For a company built on innovation, safety debates can quickly affect market sentiment. A bigger issue in modern veterinary medicine, this controversy highlights a broader shift. Veterinary medicine is no longer a simple industry with low regulatory scrutiny. It is increasingly similar to human medicine, especially when it comes to advanced biologic drugs. These therapies require long-term safety monitoring, transparent reporting, rigorous pharmacovigilance. Breakthrough treatments can transform animal welfare, but they also introduce new risks that may only become visible after widespread use. For many pets, drugs like Librela and Solensia have provided the illusion of meaningful relief from chronic arthritis pain, but the growing safety debate shows something important. In modern medicine, whether human or veterinary innovation, must always be balanced with long-term safety monitoring. If you're considering these treatments for your pet, the best step is always to discuss risks and benefits with your veterinarian, because every animal's health situation is different.